What's happening, Carolina fans? Welcome to Two Fans in the Stands, a podcast related to all things Carolina Panthers and North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm your co-host Tony.
And I'm your co-host CJ.
Let's go. CJ, what's happening, cuz? How you feeling this morning?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Um, Feelings about like normal, for our team.
Okay.
About like normal. They lift you up and then they drop you flat on your face.
Right. Well, let's get right into it. Did yesterday's game give you any hope for the future?
No, it did not. Not at all. I don't want Baker Mayfield to take not near another snap for the Carolina
Not
Panthers
near damn
this year.
snap.
I
Yeah.
saw a comment on Facebook and I agree with it. If PJ Walker got one leg, hop his ass out there and let him just hand the damn ball off or something. I'm serious, man.
I ain't
I'm
see that
serious.
one.
I don't want Baker Mayfield to take and like my country folks say, not another snap
Nah,
for the
near
Carolina
another
Panthers.
snap.
Not another snap. Ah man. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, there was a little piece of me that was hopeful. And I was like, okay, cool. Matt Rule is gone. He was the coach last time Baker played. Now the offense is opened up. You see PJ come in. He's had a few good games. And I'm like, okay, cool. Baker's going to get in there, and we're probably going to see what we thought we got when we signed him. And that Joker shit the bed just as bad as I've ever seen it. I mean, he back
Listen,
there bouncing on a little mini trampoline, patting the ball. And it was crazy because when you saw the replays, I'm sitting there yelling at the TV. I'm like, he was open, throw it. And he's looking at
yeah.
him, and the next thing you know, he starts jumping again, and then he goes and goes through his reads. And I'm just like, dude, he was open. Like, what
Like
the hell are you doing back there?
I don't remember who was the commentator, but he said something that I have been saying for the
Mark
past
Sanchez and somebody
six,
else.
7 weeks. Yeah, but he said it looks like Baker is going through his progressions too fast. Remember, I said that? I said it looks like
Yeah.
he is going through his progressions way too fast. By the time he reaches third progression,
The
then he's
second one is
already
open.
he's at his third progressions before he even allow the development of any route to happen.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like, when you get to your first and your second, first and second reads, the receivers aren't even looking for the ball because they're not even into their route yet. You know,
Exactly.
so I'm like, he doing all this bouncing around, looking, it just looks uncomfortable, it looks uncoordinated. This is a rhythm based offense, and he looks out of rhythm completely. He does not look like he's in
Mhm.
sync with this offense. And I was so glad to hear the commentator mention that point. And I was like, you know what? I've been saying the same damn thing ever since the season started. Ever since
Yeah.
Baker's been in the game, he is moving too fast. He's moving
Mhm.
faster than the play develops. But
I'm
go ahead.
telling you. I'm telling you. I said this some episodes back. I think it was early in the season. Just like Biggie said, your daughter's tied up in the Brooklyn basement. Somebody has somebody he knows and loves tied up somewhere, and they're like, when
Oh
you
my
go out there,
god.
you better play like shit. And let me say this. I'm just
He
joking
playing
when
like
I say that.
he got some money
I'm
on the opposing team or
telling
something.
you. I'm telling you. Even my wife, she was like, she said,
Oh
so y'all really
god.
went out and got Baker Mayfield? She said, y'all brought back Cam Newton. You didn't bring him back this year because you thought this was better. And I said, well, and mind you, I'm always a Cam fan. I would have loved for them to bring him back. But I said, Baker Mayfield was not playing like this in Cleveland. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that
No, he
he was
wasn't. He was not.
no, I'm not gonna say he was a perennial Pro Bowler every year and putting up godly numbers, but he was not playing like this, not playing like this at all,
At all.
at all.
Even even the Browns fans have come into the Facebook group that I'm in, and even on
Mhm.
Twitter said Baker does not look like the Baker we had in Cleveland. They were
Mm-mm.
like, I don't know what this version of Baker is.
Yeah. At this point, put him on the bench. Like I said, I don't want him to see not near another snap, and go ahead and make sure we give Cleveland that fifth round pick instead of that fourth round pick, because
Exactly.
now we are. Let's see, we're 3-8, so we are we still 2 games back because Tampa had a bye, Atlanta won, New Orleans they won if I'm not
Yeah, New
mistaken.
Orleans won. Yeah.
So it's 5-5. Hold on, I gotta look up the standings in our division real quick.
Yeah,
But
I think Tampa Bay is still number one at 5-5, and I think Atlanta is 5-6.
yeah, Tampa Bay's 5-5. They had a bye this week. Atlanta's
Yeah,
5-6. New Orleans is 4-7. And it's wild. This is the thing that's just so dumb to me about this season. It's just so stupid. Like we're only what
20,
2 games back.
20, yeah, 2014 all over again. If we could somehow manage to get our thumb out our ass, but it's
Yeah,
2014 all over again
but the in
for the
2014,
making, the making of
yeah,
it. Yeah,
I want to say it was more consistent of we would win 1 or 2 and lose 1 or 2, and then win 1 or 2
yeah,
and lose 1 or 2, than
yeah.
being this far behind, because like
Right.
that year the whole division was just absolute garbage juice.
Well,
But
shit, just like this division this year, the division is garbage juice. I mean, pretty
it
much.
is, but I don't I don't think it's gonna be one of those scenarios where below 500 team is gonna win the division.
You don't think
You know,
so?
I Nah, I think Tampa
Who?
Bay will probably eke out and be over 500.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
can
that,
see Tampa Bay finishing about 9-8
yeah,
at the at best, at best.
yeah, Brady and that defense get their act together. Well,
Yeah,
let me not throw Brady in there. If Tampa Bay's run game and their defense can get their act together consistently, I
right,
think they'll be okay. But yeah, it's just it's I really wanted them to win this game because
right,
that would put us at 4-7. We would be third in division. We would be a game back, and then our schedule for the rest of the year is I don't know. We got the Broncos,
we
the
got the
Seahawks, the
Broncos,
Steelers, the
Seahawks,
Lions,
Steelers. Yep,
the Bucks,
Lions.
and the Saints. Okay. Now, mind you, we going to Tampa Bay, but we've beaten Tampa Bay once this year. All right. Not saying that's a guarantee that we can do it again, but it
Right,
happened. We beat the Saints. Same situation applies. Um, the Lions could potentially be a winning game, a winnable game. The Steelers. I know the Seahawks are playing really good, and we're going to Seattle. So that was kind of really in, and then you got the Broncos who are coming to Charlotte. So
so
it's just go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, so out of the six remaining games, realistically, now I want you to give me a realistic answer here.
Hmm.
Out of the remaining six games, how many games do you see Carolina pulling off? How many games do you see that are truly winnable games?
To be perfectly honest with you, I think they're
Yes.
all winnable games.
Oh my
I
God.
honestly
Really?
do. They're all winning. You go, oh my God, all you want to. They're all winnable games. They really are. It just depends on what damn team shows up. That then and that's the thing. Like I said, the force is out of balance with with the Panthers. They don't know whether they're going or coming from week to week. And I say that about the offense and the defense, because you get a defense that showed up this past week versus the Ravens and held them to 13 points, sacked Lamar Jackson 5 times, held him and Kenyon Drake in check until the late in the fourth quarter. But that was after
Right.
Carolina's offense turned the ball over. We get that team, that defense one week, and then they'll come out the next week and make whoever on the other team look like a superstar.
Mm,
I mean, it's we have the games like this where the defense shows up, offense won't show up. Okay, then we'll have the games where the defense doesn't show up, but the offense does. Kind of like the that first Atlanta game. Defense wasn't really nowhere to be found, but the offense showed up. But then
right.
here we go with the damn kicker. Like that game, the special team screwed us early in the season. Defense stepped up. Defense had a string of games to start the season where they played really, really good, really
Yeah.
good,
Yes, they
good enough
did.
for us
Yes,
to.
they did.
We really could have started off 3 or 4-0, but the offense was still at training camp down in Dan Wofford. So that's why I say I can't give you a specific number, because this team is just so wacky. It's
Okay.
it's
Well,
it's so wacky because you don't when you expect them to not do something, that's when they do it. And then you're like,
right.
okay, when you give them the slightest bit of, all right, well, cool. Well, I think they got a shot this week. Then they go out there and wet the bed.
Well, this is how I see it, and you tell me if you agree. This week's game against Denver, to me, is sort of like a litmus test going forward for the remaining 6 games. If they can bounce back and win this game against Denver after losing to Baltimore, and the offense regains its stride, meaning the run game. Sam Darnold has a decent game. I'm not looking for anything spectacular, but just decent enough. You know what I'm saying? And we can pull out this win against Denver. I think this game here will be kind of like the litmus test for the remaining season on how you could probably predict whether Carolina will win 2 or 3 games, or win the rest of the games, or win none of the games. To me, that's how I'm looking at it going forward. What about you?
I agree. I agree, but
Okay.
I'm I just think this is going to be one of them games, because the Broncos have looked like trash all year long, and I think we have just about the same record. I think they're 3-7. We're 3-8 because we haven't had a bye week yet, and they
Right.
let go of Melvin Gordon, so now it's the Latavius Murray show back there, and this looks like a game where the get right Panthers might show up. So you never know. You never know. I
Mm.
cannot. I agree with what you said. I agree with everything you said, but I have no. I can't even put into words an opinion on it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to figure it out. I'm waiting for you to
I
give it.
I don't I
Oh
can't.
God.
I can't. The
Right.
way this team looks, I'm just like bruh. Because
So
like
it's
we were
like
talking
it's
about,
like a wait and see. It's like a wait and see
it's
moment for you
yes.
then.
It's
Okay, I got it.
every game for the rest of the season is wait and see.
Wait.
Somebody was like, "What? What's your prediction? On the next game?" I predict that I'm going to wait and see what happens. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to predict that I'm going to wait and see what happens. I
So
can guarantee you that. Yeah, that's the one thing I can guarantee. I will wait and see what happens, and I will talk to you in the recap. Yes,
so it ain't
I'm
no need of
serious,
doing a
man.
preview, huh?
Well, I mean, we can do a preview. You know, we always gonna
Right,
do a preview, but
right.
I think my previews are going to be more comical based. You know, from here on out. Because I cannot take this team
Oh God.
seriously. I cannot take them seriously right now. I really can't.
Especially,
I really can't.
especially if Baker Mayfield is the quarterback, which I know he's not.
Yeah.
He won't be Sunday. So that's a
Hmm.
good thing. So I'm just waiting to see if my prediction is going to come true because I've said this since we got Sam Darnold last year. I wasn't saying that Sam Darnold is the franchise quarterback or he's going to be the next great quarterback for the Panthers. I just felt like, and I always would feel like this, Sam Darnold needs a real opportunity, meaning he needs a real offensive line in front of him.
Hmm.
And I say this, if you go back, we've had this conversation multiple times. If you go back
Hmm.
and look at the first 3 to 4 games of last year, when our offensive line was playing good, they
Kept them
were
clean.
intact, kept them clean. We saw the potential that Sam Darnold could have if you have a decent offensive line in front of him. If the defense, I mean, not defensive line, offensive line in front of him, if they are playing pretty good and able to keep him clean, he can win you or help you win some games. That's what I want
Hmm.
to see because now we have the offensive line intact that has been playing pretty well all year long. I think this last game against Baltimore, this last game against Baltimore has probably been their worst game of the season thus far, in my opinion.
It was, but Baker Mayfield at multiple points in that game had enough time to sit
Yes.
there and go through all of his damn progressions. And like we was talking about earlier too, and like the announcer said, he was going through them too damn fast.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
sitting there and he's going to his third progression. But the thing is, and you've seen it on the replay sometimes. I saw DJ Moore coming across the middle. He was looking. He moved on. Next thing you know, DJ sitting there wide open. If he'd have gave him another 2 seconds, he would have came open, and he had time. Now, mind you,
Yeah.
I will agree. This was probably one of the offensive line's worst performances of the year. But early on in the game, Baker Mayfield had a lot of time. They gave up a lot of sacks because he was back there jumping around, patting the ball, and taking too damn long to make a decision on where he wanted to go. By that time, the defense was getting home. He should have been had the ball out.
Yeah. Well, like I
So,
said, when you as a defense aren't are not scared of the opposing quarterback, you can pin your ears back and shut down the run game and hope and pray to God that that quarterback throw the ball and try to
mhm,
beat you. And that's how they play against Baker Mayfield. He offers no threat in the run game. He looks
mhm,
slow as molasses even when he ran in the bootleg. I
yeah,
that's one thing that cracked me up Sunday because I had been saying to myself, is it me or is it every time Baker drops back? I can say drop back every time he attempts to run a bootleg. It seemed like he gets run down by a damn defensive end, and
yeah,
it looks in your mind like he's running fast as hell, but he ain't going nowhere. Like I knew Baker was not fast. You know what I'm saying? I know he's not a mobile quarterback
mhm,
per se because he's damn sure not a dual threat quarterback. But I thought that he would be able to get out the pocket to roll out better than what he has shown. Every bootleg play that I've seen Baker attempt this year, he got a defensive end on his ass. And I'm like, this dude is slower than molasses. So he creates no threat of running the ball. Nobody respects his arm talent to 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 sit back in the pocket and dissect you. So
Mm.
to in my eyes, it's like you it's no different than having Tom Brady just standing back there in the pocket as a non-moving target.
Well, that's what happened when you got legs like a
Yeah,
6-year-old. You
right.
know,
And and
in his mind, he out there running 70 miles an hour. But I mean, you know, in reality, he running 3 miles an hour.
right. So when you got defense like Baltimore and you got they linebackers, let me just say this right here. They linebackers play how I pray to God Carolina linebackers will play. They play downhill, physical, shoot the gap, and smack you in your mouth type football. Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen,
Mm-hmm.
those are some true linebackers. You talking about some
Mm-hmm.
dogs? Them
Yeah.
dogs showed up and showed out. I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean to
But
sound like no
it's
Baltimore, fan or anything like that, but they play
mhm.
how I wish our linebackers would play. Okay,
Well,
I'm done with that.
you absolutely right. But the key difference between our linebackers and our linebacking group and a lot of the other linebacking groups in the NFL that I've seen, especially the ones that play against the Panthers, they know how to tackle.
True,
Our
and
linebacking group does not know how to tackle. They
now
got to be just like I keep saying. Carolina is the worst screen team in the NFL. I think we have the
right,
worst tackling defense in the NFL, especially with our linebackers. Especially the
right.
linebacker. Do you know how many times I have seen them get to somebody in the backfield, and I will throw Gross Matos and Brian Burns into this too. Do you know how many times they've got to somebody in the backfield, dead to rights, going to make the stop, keep them from getting the first down or whatever, positive yards. And they make one little shoulder fake, one little juke move, or in Shaq Thompson's case, hell, he'll just run right down by him and stick his arm out like he's going to grab him by the tip of his fingers and pull him down.
I agree with everything that you just said, but in this past game, I have to give credit where credit is due. Shaq Thompson showed up against
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore. He was doing some tackling. I didn't see
Yeah,
him
I'm
that
talking
I
about
can
them as a
recall.
whole over the course of the
Right,
season.
right, right. Okay, yeah, yeah. Because I said it to myself during the game. I was like, okay, Shaq Thompson out there really like tackling. I didn't even say hitting. I'm like, he is tackling, wrapping up. I was thoroughly surprised and happy at the same damn time because I was like, because you never know what you're gonna get with Shaq. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thoroughly impressed and surprised at how well he was wrapping up and tackling this past Sunday. So I was glad to see it, but no, you are exactly right. And Steve Wilkes made mention of this. I can't remember if it was this week or last week. He was just like, we need to learn how to finish and we need to
Mm-hmm.
know how to stay in our gaps and tackle. And this is something that they've been saying even when Matt Rule was here the first 5, 6 games of the season. This has been the Achilles heel for this defense all season long is
Yep.
staying in your gaps
Tackle.
and tackling. I
Yep.
don't understand. I don't understand why that doesn't register and why that doesn't hit home. And it's like even with Brian Burns lining up in the neutral zone, offside. To me, I'm like, okay, dude, you are supposed to be the quote unquote leader of this defense. This is
Mm-hmm.
your fourth year, third year. I think it's third year in the league. You would think by now you can look down the line of scrimmage as a defensive end and you can see the damn football and tell whether you are even with the football, past the football, or behind the football. You should know that. That's like
Yeah.
I never played defensive end, but I know when you line up on the line of scrimmage, just like centers, how they line their toes up on the heels of the offensive line their toes on the heels of the center. The defensive linemen, not they don't do the same thing, but they are taught to look down the line of scrimmage and see where you at compared to the ball. Like
Hmm.
this dude lines up off size. It's crazy. It's crazy and it's so frustrating because I'm like, you as the captain of the defense, this is something that should have been corrected. Because this is something that has been talked about for 2 years now. How can let me just say it this way. You are out here still making rookie mistakes.
Yeah. Why are we still talking about this? Is
Right,
with
exactly.
him?
Right,
Why are we still having the
exactly.
same damn conversation?
Right. So
Yeah.
there you go. Instead of me trying to break some, give some long soliloquy, you said
Hmm.
it. You said it
Yeah.
just
It's
perfect.
it's like it's like I've
Why
been
are
late
we
to work
still
every day. It's like I've been late to work every day for 2 weeks because I keep going down 85 instead of going the back way.
when you
And
know
and
there's
my thing,
construction on 85?
yeah, you know, Boston gave me an
Yeah.
ultimatum. If I'm late one more time, that's it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you know what? They still doing construction at 85. I'm gonna go that way again. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Panthers in general, man. It's this is how I, it's almost like it's how this team has been the last few years. It's just like the things that they do wrong, they continue to do wrong. I don't care who the coaches are, who the players are, they do it wrong because you see the players go to other teams and they don't do the same shit. They
Right.
don't do it. And it's just something. It's almost like it's just something over this organization. I ain't gonna dig deep into that or nothing, but
Right.
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's really really weird. It's like no
And
matter
T,
who's here, no matter who plays, they do the same dumb shit.
yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I tell you something else that kind of upset me, Sunday. I felt like the run game was abandoned too quick. Now, mind you, it wasn't hitting or nothing, but I just felt like we got away from it too quick because the score was still 3-3
Mhm.
and all the way into the middle of the fourth quarter per se.
Mhm.
That there was time to where you could still attempt to
Mhm.
run the ball.
What did I
I
say in the
give
preview though?
I can't remember what did you
I
say?
Hey, look, I said in the preview, Foreman has ran for 118 yards plus in 3 of the last 4 games. 2 of those games were against Atlanta, one against Tampa Bay. They're both in the bottom half of the league in run defense. We went up against the Bengals, and I think I got this wrong in the preview. I think they're ranked number 11 in rush defense.
Right,
Baltimore is ranked number 3. And I was like, so
right,
let's see, what we can do against another good run defense. And, you know, I hate to say I was right about it, but hey, those 3 really good games came against 2 teams with suspect run defenses,
right,
and we done ran up against 2 teams in that same span, including the Ravens Sunday, that have top 10, top 11 defenses, run defenses, and shut them down.
right,
Shut
right.
him down. Foreman
Yeah.
Foreman had a few good plays. He had a few of them where he took off, but yeah, for the most part, they just set up and was like, nah, this ain't happening today, fellas. Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not that I was looking for him to have another 100-yard game against Baltimore because I didn't honestly think that was going to happen. I just thought that I thought we was going to get better production from the run game as a whole. You couldn't have told me that we were going to only run for 36 yards on 17 carries in the game. You know, I just wouldn't have I just wouldn't believe that. Now, the whole format under 100 yards, okay, that's, like I said, I wasn't expecting him to get 100 yards by himself, but I thought the run game could have got more than, or was going to get more than just 36
Yeah.
freaking yards. I mean, that was like 2.1 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
I'm
you
not even
you
gonna lie.
you're
I'm
not
I'm
you're
not
not you're not
surprised.
moving the ball doing that.
Yeah. I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised at all. And I just think it goes back to you know, when you think they're going to do something, they don't do it. When you don't think they're going to do something, they do it. But I saw that when I was trying to get the preview ready, and I was looking through, the stats and stuff, and I looked at those teams, and I was like, I was like, Atlanta's run defense isn't all that great. Neither was Tampa Bay's. And I said, but we went to Cincinnati, got shut down. And I was like, well, hell, Baltimore's run defense is even better. And yeah, shut down. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No vertical passing game. LaVisca
Mhm.
Chenault only out here looking like a gadget player. Like they only throwing screen passes to him. The defense
So
looking
predictable.
confused. Yeah, defense
So
looking confused on the
predictable.
back end. And I said this even in the player spotlight. Jeremy Chin will get exposed in the passing game because he doesn't have good reaction time to passing plays. I said that in the player spotlight, and to me, it held true in this game because when you look at the separation that Mark Andrews was getting wide open, and I looked at the separation between him and Jeremy Chin, it was like 3 to 5 yards. And Jeremy Chin will make it up quick because of speed, but I'm like, he should never been that wide open from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
but
he should.
besides JC Horn, they're all like that though. They're all
Yeah.
so it'll be 3rd and 3. And I swear on everything I love, I will see our defensive backs playing 10 yards off the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
That
just like,
that that
so y'all got Usain Bolt speed, and y'all gonna break on the ball and make up that much ground that damn quick. And I'm just like why? Like why? I've seen that so many
yeah,
times this year. I'm like, dude, it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, and the damn defensive backs are out of the damn camera picture. You can't even see them.
yeah, right. No, you're
You
right.
know what I mean? I'm
You are
like, what are y'all
absolutely correct.
doing?
You're
Like,
absolutely correct.
I'm no defensive expert. I'm just a fan.
Right.
And I'm sitting there looking like, where are y'all at? Like my thing is, you worried you gonna get burned deep? Well, you gonna give up the first down either way.
Yeah, yeah. I think
So
I think if Carolina would just play more of a too high safety shell look, with both safeties playing the back end instead of bringing Jeremy Chin down so much and leaving Xavier Woods in single high position. I think when they do that, I think that gives any offense really the
mm,
opportunity to go over the top. You know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think Jeremy Chin is more of an in the box safety slash linebacker. Well, if that's the case, and you want to play Jeremy Chin closer to the line of scrimmage, then you need to put another safety back there where Xavier Woods and play that that too high shell look and keep everything in front of you. That way, in my opinion, you can play a little more press coverage. You could bring the corners
yeah.
up a little closer to the line of scrimmage. You may not be
Mhm.
playing like, man up, but 3 to 4 yards off, off coverage or something like that. That may be a little better, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm no defensive guru at all, but I understand defenses, and I just know to get better coverage from your corners, you should be playing more of a Tampa 2 or cover 4 look, especially with
Yeah,
two safeties over the top instead of just a single high safety. That's
yeah.
just my
But even
opinion.
but even but even when they go to that zone, it was a play in the game where Mark Andrews started on Lamar
The right.
Jackson's right side.
Yeah, I
He
remember that.
took
It went
off. He
all the
he
way.
he 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 took off and went past about, oh, I want to say Xavier Woods passed him off. He ran by whoever the
Shaq.
middle linebacker. Yeah, Shaq. And then he got all the way to the other side of the field, and there was another Panther. I don't remember if it was Corey Littleton or somebody else. And I don't know if he was watching the running back or what. He was just standing there. I mean, he just stood there. I don't know who the hell he was looking at. Mark Andrews just runs right on behind him, and Lamar throws him the ball, and he's wide open.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's wide open. I it just, when the Panthers are in that zone, the opposing teams have, let me see, it's way too easy for them to find the gaps in the zone. And I know that's what every team's goal and objective is when you go up against a team who plays zone. You got to find the gaps, the holes in the zone. You got to turn around, you sit, wait for the quarterback to throw you the ball. But with Carolina, it just seems like it's far too easy for opposing teams to do that.
It's like
And
they
it's like,
zone looks like part of the damn Red Sea, in
I'm
my
I'm
opinion.
telling you. It's like their zone. They got one linebacker in North Lake. They got one in South Park. You got one over there on the east side, and you got one at the airport.
Yeah, yeah. You got one off
You know,
off
and,
of
and,
West
and
Boulevard.
yeah, and then you got another one in Albemarle. I mean, it's it's crazy, man. It's
Oh
crazy,
my
and it's
god.
and it's just frustrating.
No,
It's just
no, it
frustrating.
is. I feel
The
you.
communication is just not there.
I
It's
feel
it's
you.
it's it's, it's not there. By
And
the
that's
time they
one of the
pick up the phone
things.
and dial the next man, shit, the play's over with. They done caught the
And
ball.
and that's crazy because that's one of the things that I actually thought Carolina got better at was the communication aspect. I thought with Xavier Woods coming in, and he has really helped them. But it's like, as far as the communication, is like they're not comprehending in real time what he is saying, like what he's seeing and trying to relay to the other corners. Besides JC Horn, I think him and JC Horn has good communication, but it's like what he's
Hmm.
trying to relay to the back end, to the rest of the DBs. It's like they're not comprehending what he's saying in real time, and he's pointing, you need to be here, the players coming
Yeah,
here. But it's like they not comprehending what he's trying to say. I don't know. I don't know. I think Xavier Wood does a good job of trying to get those guys in the right position on the back end. I just don't think I don't think they're able to comprehend what he's saying in real time, to make it work. And to them it may sound confusing or whatnot, but you need to have that together. They need to have that together, and
yep.
they just don't have it.
No, they just don't.
Yeah.
They just don't. The force is not strong with this team at all.
Well,
At all.
you You got anything else before
Man,
we get out of here, man? Because I
man,
don't want to continue to keep beating a dead
hell
horse.
no. Hell no. Look, hey, let me tell you, it's about time we fire up the draft simulator and start looking forward to next season.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I have been playing around with it, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, we could definitely get that going. We could
Yeah.
definitely get that going.
I think it's time.
Okay, I agree with you. Well, that would do it for us this week. Our next opponent is the Denver Broncos Sunday at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, Panthers fans, keep pounding.